Hi, this is Arthur, and this is a summary and explanation of the story of all the Trailblaze missions released in the game Honkai Star Rail version 3.3. The Trailblazer gets a message from Cipher, and they meet up in Styxia. They chat a bit before the Trailblazer gets a message from Finon to meet. We change perspectives to Dong Heng chatting with Lygus. They're examining the Astral Express train car Dong Heng and the Trailblazer used to land on Amphorius. Lygus says he can repair the train car and asks Dong Heng if he would consider not helping the Chrysos heirs and just leaving Amphorius. Dong Heng considers Lygus' offer when some masked people surround them. Lygus says he is not affiliated with the masked people. We change perspectives to the Trailblazer hanging out with Finon when masked people show up. Finon says the masked people are assassins known as cleaners and are known for killing Chrysos heirs. We change perspectives to Hyacine, who is talking to Tribi and Krateros when they suddenly get news Aglaea is in trouble. We change perspectives to Aglaea as she is approached by Kindness and some cleaners. In the past, Aglaea's demigod powers allowed her some omniscience in Akima, but it seems she's weakened and did not foresee this attack. Kindness says that if Aglaea doesn't let them assassinate her, she and her cleaners will hurt citizens all around Akima. Aglaea seems to accept her death. We move to Cipher's perspective, who is in Styxia with spirit thief Bartolos looking for treasure. Just then, Aglaea uses a golden nymph to speak with Cipher. Aglaea implies she is going to die and asks Cipher to return to Akima and help the Chrysos heirs. Cipher says she'll think about it, and they say goodbye to each other for the last time. We change to Dong Heng's perspective, who is still surrounded by cleaners. Krateros arrives with backup and says Aglaea is dead. We change perspectives to Finon and the Trailblazer as Finon finishes beating up and chasing away the cleaners. Finon gets a message Aglaea is dead and they hurry back to Akima. We change perspectives to Cartonis, who is forging a sword for Finon. Aglaea uses a golden nymph to speak to Cartonis and says that her physical form is shattered. Aglaea tells Cartonis it is time for him to use Kremnoan soul-forging technology to condense Aglaea's divinity into an ornament. Aglaea hopes in this way she may still be of some aid to the Chrysos heirs. We change perspectives to Finon as he meets with the other Chrysos heirs. They confirm Aglaea is dead and was killed by the cleaners. They meet with Tribi, who gives Finon a note containing warm words from Aglaea. Cartonis soon arrives and gives Finon a new sword as well as the ornament with Aglaea's remaining divinity. Finon takes leadership of Akima and calms down the citizenry. Later, Finon meets with Cipher and says he's leaving Akima to retrieve the Sky Titan's core flame. Finon asks Cipher to protect the world-bearing Titan's core flame, which is within Akima, while he's away. Cipher agrees. We change perspectives to Hyacine and Dong Heng in the Grove of Epiphany, who are trying to open a way into the Sky Titan's realm. Hyacine explains they must forge a rainbow bridge which requires a descendant of the Sky People. Hyacine is a descendant of the Sky People. That descendant must then retrieve the blessings of their ancestors in order to forge the Rainbow Bridge. Dong Heng and Hyacine go around, speak to ancestral ghosts, and retrieve their blessings. We change perspectives to the Trailblazer, Dong Heng, Finon, and Hyacine a few days later in front of the world-bearing Titan. Hyacine opens the Rainbow Bridge and they take it into the Sky Titan's realm, which is a giant sky fortress known as the Eye of Twilight. They venture into the fortress and meet Lunabis and Solobis, two mythical creatures that were allies of Seliosi. Seliosi was Hyacine's ancestor and a legendary hero who defeated the Sky Titan and merged with it to maintain the skies of Amphorius. Lunabis and Solobis decide to guide the group towards the Sky Titan. Along the way, they learn the legends about Seliosi are false. The truth is, when Seliosi defeated the Sky Titan, she did it in hopes it would quell conflicts between the various factions of the Sky People. Unfortunately, all it did was turn Seliosi into an object of worship, creating even more strife. Disillusioned with humanity, Seliosi, Lunabis, and Solobis executed all the Sky People living on the Eye of Twilight by dropping them into molten gold. Seliosi then found a way to fuse her soul with the Sky Titan's core flame and fuse them together, casting aside her humanity once and for all. As for Hyacine and all the others who thought they were Seliosi's descendants, they actually descended from another Chrysos heir among the Sky People whom Seliosi spared. Side note, Chrysos heirs are defined by their golden blood, and there seem to be quite a few of them on Amphorius, though not all of them are destined to fuse with core flames. Lunibus and Solibus once agreed with Celiosi's disdain of humanity, but they've changed over the years and now want to defeat the Sky Titan, who is now fused with Celiosi. They eventually reach the Sky Titan and defeat it by dropping it into a pool of molten gold. The group also falls, but is seemingly saved by the ornament with Aglaea's divinity. Unfortunately, the ornament also falls into the molten gold, seemingly ending Aglaea once and for all. The group try to escape the Eye of Twilight, but are attacked by the corpse of the Sky Titan. It seems the Black Tide may have revived it. Together with Lunibus and Solibus, they defeat the Sky Titan again. We change perspectives to Cipher, who seemingly stole the world-bearing Titan's core flame and fled to Styxia. Once there, Cipher defeats some pursuing cleaners before noticing the Flame Reaver. Cipher leads the Flame Reaver on a chase, but is eventually caught and killed by him. Fortunately, Cipher didn't actually have the world-bearing Titan's core flame and hid it somewhere else. Unfortunately, at Cipher's death, the skies of Akima darken. Turns out, 1,000 years ago, the world-bearing Titan told its followers it would protect Akima from the Black Tide with its light for 300 years. The world-bearing Titan then went silent. Cipher then impersonated the world-bearing Titan's followers and, instead of the 300 years, announced to all of Akima its light would protect Akima forever. After that, the world-bearing Titan used up its light over 300 years. Cipher then used her powers as the demigod of trickery to deceive everyone into believing the light continued on. This lasted up until her death just a moment ago. We change perspectives to the group on the Eye of Twilight, who notice the light protecting Akima is gone and the Black Tide is attacking. With no time to lose, they use Dong Heng's powers over water to send Hyacine to the vortex of Genesis, submit the Sky Titan's core flame, go through its trial, and become a demigod. Hyacine then returns to the Eye of Twilight and uses her demigod powers to protect as many as she can. As for Phainon, the Trailblazer, and Dong Heng, they head to Dawn Cloud to retrieve the world-bearing Titan's core flame. Once there, they realize the core flame is missing. Phainon thinks Cipher must have done something with it, and they head back to the vortex of Genesis. Along the way, Kindness tries to stop them, and they kill her and continue on. They soon run into the Flame Reaver when Castorus, Mighty, and Tribby show up and hold off the Flame Reaver while the rest of them escape. They then run into an injured Cartonus who says Trinon is at the vortex of Genesis and told him the world-bearing Titan's core flame is safe. They continue on while Cartonus stays behind to fight off some Black Tide monsters. They then run into the Flame Reaver again and Dong Heng stays behind to hold him off. They soon reach the entrance to the vortex of Genesis and Phainon tells the Trailblazer to go help Dong Heng and escape Amphorius. Phainon says he had Lygus fix their train car and with the Sky Titan down, they should be able to escape Amphorius through its skies. The Trailblazer leaves to help Dong Heng and Phainon discovers the entrance to the vortex of Genesis does not work. Trinon and Bartolos then arrive. Bartolos explains how Cipher extended the world-bearing Titan's light and reveals he is the Trickery Titan. After completing his trial, Cipher used her demigod powers to keep Bartolos alive. With Cipher dead, the only thing keeping Bartolos alive now is the world-bearing Titan's core flame, which is inside Bartolos. Bartolos removes the core flame from himself and gives it to them, which kills Bartolos. Trinon then says she can open a sentry gate to the vortex of Genesis, but it will use up her energy and kill her. Phainon and Trinon say goodbye, and we change perspectives to projections of Herda and Scrulum in Akima. The two somehow defeated Lygus, or what they think was a copy of him. They decide to prioritize finding the Trailblazer, Dong Heng, and maybe March 7th, as Black Swan thinks she is trapped on Amphorius. Herda adds the source of Amphorius' problems is a machine called an Emperor Scepter. It seems there were once many Emperor Scepters that sowed chaos across the cosmos and even caused problems for the Intelligentsia Guild. Side note, Dr. Ratio is a member of the Intelligentsia Guild, which is an organization affiliated with the Interastral Peace Corporation, or the IPC. Herda seemed to have found a way to handle these Emperor Scepters, but one got away and has become the cradle for the birth of a Lord Ravager. We change perspectives to Phainon in the vortex of Genesis, who sees Lygus. The two share a few words when someone named Cyrene shows up. And that is the end of this mission in this video. If you liked what you've seen here, please like, comment, and subscribe.